Well, good morning, or possibly afternoon. I guess it's about 12:45, um, and I'm back. And nobody's more surprised than I, because I managed to lose a day yesterday. You know, one would think something as important as a transplant would get your full and honest attention, but unfortunately, I was so wiped out through the process that I'm not sure how much of it I really remember, how much of it's real, and how much of it is contrived. So, um, regardless, I'm back, and it's fascinating. It's day one of the rest of my life, and if you could look across the board, across the room from me, you would see that all my numbers are there: white blood count, hemoglobin, HCT, uh, platelets, uh, just everything's up there. And so far, we're moving along on track. My body is doing everything that it's supposed to be doing, even things that I don't want it to do necessarily. But it's all moving along. Um, there are some interesting lessons here when you're forced to confront something like this. And I guess maybe that's the most important thing I have to share today. And it's realizing that even with yesterday and everything that was going on, and with this morning being really washed out from yesterday, um, which is a function of the low blood counts, and especially the hemoglobin being as low as it is, because you're deprived of oxygen, so you don't really think clearly when you're deprived of oxygen. But um, one of the survivors staying at the hotel with us, a lovely woman, um, turned around and said the secret is really not a secret at all. She said it's eat, drink, walk. So, what do you mean by that? Eat, drink, walk. You're not going to feel like eating. You're not going to feel like drinking. You're not going to feel like exercising. But the secret is forcing yourself to do those things even when you don't want to. And I guess I'm the poster child for that, because I've already walked 11 miles inside the hospital. Got a whole bunch of little plastic feet. They're really kind of cute. They go on a little bead chain necklace, and I'm enjoying the competitive nature of walking even when you don't want to walk, uh, to keep your exercise levels high, and not to lose any part of your physical abilities, physical prowess. So she said it's eat, drink, walk. Um, Part of that would be rest as well, but you're not going to get a lot of rest in a hospital. I don't care how good the hospital is, um, especially when you're going through something as intense as this, because they're going to go ahead and continually be monitoring your functions, and taking blood and doing vital signs, and walking into your room in the middle of the night when you're asleep and asking if you're up, um, and you being able to say, well, no, I wasn't, not until you woke me up. But I've got to also tell you that I've never been confronted with a nursing staff, a complete hospital staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, recreational therapists. Every single individual I've encountered here at the City of Hope has been stellar. They've been world class. Nurses are unbelievable. They anticipate what you need before you need it, and get it before you need it. But the secret of getting through a transplant like this is really giving yourself over to the doctors and the nurses and the specialists, and saying, it doesn't matter what you tell me to do. It doesn't matter whether I really agree with it or not, or whether I believe it's right. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, because that's the only way I'm going to get out of here well again. That's the only way I'm going to be, taken care of. So it's pretty spectacular when it comes to that, and you can actually start following the protocol and getting the exercise even when you don't want it. And the coolest part about it is that even though your body's depleted, and even though your hemoglobin's low, you still have the endorphins flowing when you're exercising. So no matter how rotten you feel when you start exercising, you're almost guaranteed to feel better when you stop. So especially if you don't stop early, especially if you force yourself to go on. I mean, this morning I had the physical therapist come in, and just a wonderful young man, just a really delightful young man, and said, we're gonna check out and see how you're doing physically. And the next thing we knew, we were walking a mile, and then actually a little bit more than that, because we went over to the physical therapy room, and they have a couple of ellipticals and recumbent bikes, and all kinds of different stuff that you can use when you're recovering. And I guess everybody's got the choice of being, just a lump and sitting there and waiting for it to somehow magically get better, or you can turn around and take an active part in your recovery and try desperately to get physically restored to where you were before the disease took you out, and find that new normal, find your new normal. But it's exciting because everybody that you talk to is optimistic about your recovery and optimistic about the things that you're going to be able to do once you start to, work out again, and once you start to get physically active again, and once you wind up beating the disease. So realistically, I'm kind of saddened that I missed yesterday. I was really intending to post, but I'm sure that you would never have been able to understand it because I was almost incoherent yesterday going through everything. We did get the stem cells in. There were 2 bags of them. It's figured by body weight, so it's about 5 million cells per kilogram of body weight. And you know how bad things are when you're trying to actually figure out what that is and you can't do the math because you're so screwed up. But the bottom line is that I got the stem cells. They're busy trying to figure out where they are and where they're supposed to be. I know that there's some kind of incredibly complicated biological code that works inside the body to tell these stem cells where to go and what they're supposed to do. As I may have mentioned before, I'm probably the luckiest guy on the planet because the stem cells I got were a 12-point match, not a 10-point match, which is more or less optimal. So this is 2 elements above optimal and the same blood type as I have. So I'm not sure that you get any better than that. My wife is convinced that when I meet this young man, if we ever meet him, he's going to probably look like I did when I was 18. All I can say about that is poor bastard. In any case, the goal would be to take a trip to Israel, another trip to Israel when this is all done, if he gives us permission to go ahead and meet him and let him know how important he was in my life. So in any case, I think that's it for right now. Going to get back with the program. Hopefully we'll be involved in other physical activities other than just walking the ward. But no matter, that helps also. I love you guys for staying with me. I love all the positive comments. Thank you for making isolation bearable. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.